Hello everybody. Today we're going to be jumping right into Unit 5. We just had our Unit 4 test. For the most part, things are looking pretty good there. Getting some good scores on that, so keep up the good work. So we're getting into what's going to turn into eventually proportional relationships. We'll just get going here. So we got as usual, a couple of definitions to get done. So the first one, ratio here. So what a ratio is it's just a comparison of any two quantities. So we got an example here, so 12 inches to 1 foot. That is comparing inches and feet, and we're getting kind of an equivalent statement there. Same thing as 1,000 meters to 1 kilometer, same kind of thing. So 1,000 meters to 1 kilometer is the same kind of deal there. A proportion is a statement or equation saying that two ratios are equal. Equal ratios. So, our example here, we got the same one as above, 12 inches to 1 foot, and that's the same as 24 inches to 2 feet. And why is that the same? Well, if we remember reducing our fractions, 12 over 1, if we reduce this one, we get 12 over 1. And we've got equal ratios going on there. So this example here would be proportional because the ratios are equivalent. And then finally, cross product is a way to check to see if two ratios make a proportion. Cross product is a good way to check if two ratios are proportional. So the cross product helps us see if we get the same thing, then we know it will be proportional. So first one here, why they call it a cross product? Well, we're multiplying across like that. Some people call this the butterfly method. And then we will do the other one. So 2 times 12 here is going to give us 24. And 1 times 24 here will also give us 24. So these two ratios are proportional. So next, so how are we going to convert measurements? So oftentimes we'll need to convert between different units that we're working with. So inches to feet, feet to inches, meters to kilometers. There's many, many, many more that we could convert. So how are we going to do that? Well, we need to write two ratios with like units in the same position, so in the numerator or denominator position. We'll see what that looks like when we get to the example. You're going to use a variable to represent the missing measurement, just like we always do. A variable represents an unknown value, and that's what we're trying to find, is the unknown value. We're going to write the cross product to form a one-step equation. Then we're going to use the inverse operation to solve for the missing measurement. And then we also don't want to forget to use the correct units, I believe. Yes, units. Oh, let me spell that correctly, sorry. Units with our answer. So let's take a look at the example here. So if 1 inch is roughly 2.54 centimeters, how many inches are there in 16 centimeters? So I'm going to follow along with this example off to the right here, just so we can see what it's going to look like if we're setting it up too. All right, so like it says before, we're going to write two ratios. So there's my two ratios, and I'm going to start plugging in. So 1 inch is the same as 2.54 centimeters. Now here's what it means when it says with the like units in the same position. If I have inches up top, then I want inches up top on the other side too. So we're worried about 16 centimeters. How many inches? Well, we don't know how many inches, so we're going to use our variable, x inches, to 16 centimeters. So we've got inches up top, centimeters on bottom. This is how we're always going to set up our proportions to find that missing value. So what's happening here, how did they get to x equals 6.3 inches? Well, what we need to do is do that butterfly method or cross product. So we are going to multiply across the diagonal here. So we get 2.54x is equal to, and then we are going to multiply across on the other side. Well, 1 times 16 is just 16. So there's our one-step equation. We are now going to divide by 2.54, just like we would to solve any other one-step equation. And we get x equals 16 divided by 2.54. Steam. So let me pull up my calculator real quick. I know we have our answer here, but I'm just going to double check it. So 16 divided by 2.54 is going to be 6.29, but if we're rounding that to tenths, like it tells us to here, 6.29 will round up to 6.3, just like our answer says. So we can see how we got that answer right there. So we're going to work a couple of these on our own here right now. So remember, step 1, write 2 ratios. So I will write those 2 ratios here. So Sue rowed her boat 25 kilometers. If 1 kilometer is about 6.2 miles, how many miles did she row? So it doesn't matter which one goes on top. It just matters that they go in the same place. So I'm going to put kilometers up top. Why not? So we have 1 kilometer is the same as 0.62 miles. And then we have 25 kilometers is the same as, well, we don't know how many miles that is. We want to know. We are trying to figure that out. Oops, miles. So like I said before, it doesn't matter where your variable goes as long as you have your units lining up. So kilometers on top, miles on bottom, miles on bottom. All right. So now we are going to get butterfly method here, and we get 1 times x is just x equals, and then across the other side multiply, remember. So 0.62 times 25. And we don't even have to do a one-step equation here. This just gets us to our answer. X is equal to, we got 0.62 times 25. And we are going to get, that is 15.5 miles. So following those directions, we get 15.5 miles. Alrighty, and our final example here together. So 1/2 cup is the same as 0.4 fluid ounces. So just like before, like units in the same place, top or bottom. So let's put cups on top, ounces on bottom. So we are going to get, this is one of the rare times where I will say, let's go ahead and just put it in decimal form. So 1/2 or 0.5 cups is the same as 4 ounces. two equivalent ratios, remember? So we want to know how many fluid ounces will 7 3/4 cups be. So cups up top, right? So we have 7 3/4 or 7.75 cups to, well, we don't know how many ounces, right? That's what we're trying to figure out. So once again, we will butterfly method or cross multiply here, find the cross product. 0.5x, got confused with my label there, equals 7.75 times 4, because we are now doing this cross multiply here. And that's going to give us 31. Now we have a one-step equation. We just want to solve that. Divide by 0.5, divide by 0.5, and x will be equal to 31 divided by 0.5 is going to equal 62 ounces. X is 62 ounces. So this is how we are going to solve proportions when we have a missing piece here. All right. So our independent practice will start on this notes page here, so don't forget these problems when you are working on your assignment on your own. So for a few of these, it's going to ask us to find out if it's a proportion. So remember how we do that. Back up here, we can either use cross product to see if we get the same thing. Another way we can find out if it's a proportion is to just divide the two sides of the equal sign and see if we get the same thing. So, like we did before. So, we were comparing 12 to 1 and 24 to 2. So what we can do is divide this out. Well, 12 divided by 1 is just 12. 24 divided by 2 is 12. So we know that these are proportional. So that's another way that we can test it. Or you can do the cross product like it's asking you to here to see if you get the same thing. Alrighty, so go ahead and take care of your independent practice. After that, there is a IXL to get done, and then you are free for the day. So get those two things done, and we will see you on Monday for the next lesson. Thank you, and have a great day.